Oh. Oh. There you go. And greetings from Niagara Falls. How are you? And greetings from Niagara Falls. When we were planning for this workshop, there was no provision for this video to be played. And then I had requested our team that we should watch this video before I start to facilitate this workshop. And the reason for this, if you can quantify how many workshops we've had together, how many times we've gathered, it's only been 24 times. We've only been together for 24 hours in this setting. And still, if you start to analyze the utility that we've created for ourselves and for humanity, this is quite surreal. And so, what I'm trying to highlight right now is the power of sankalpa. In English, intention. The word sankalpa is made up of two compounds. Sam means well, that which is selfless. And kalpa means to change how you think or speak or act. Our community's sankalpa to serve our Mother Earth is lovely. And that's why in 24 hours, if we've gathered 24 times for 1 hour each time, and many times you come late, you're texting your friends, you leave early, so it's not even 24 hours. In 24 hours, we have been able to facilitate. I don't even want to say create because it wasn't us, but facilitate what we've been able to. As we continue to be community that serves our Mother Earth, Prthvi Sevasanga, I start by appreciating all of you. This appreciation, though, is in the past tense. I'm appreciating everything that we've done for the past 24 months, but also I'm asking of you. So appreciating and asking. Asking is of the future tense. Asking more from you. Now, everyone right now who is hearing my words and is feeling Vivekji's asking again, and you're shaken by this, it applies to you more then. Who are we asking for? Our mother. We're not asking for a particular individuality or family or community or even society. There's only one humanity. We are asking for our humanity, which you are a part of, I'm a part of. As we commence our 3rd year of our Prthvi Sevasanga, the focus of this workshop will be on habits. By a quick show of hands, how many of you feel that you have good habits? Overall, if your Mother Earth were to analyze you, how many of you feel she would say you have good habits? By show of hands. Okay, I would like to say that I'm visually seeing a third of the seekers here sharing that. Today, Sheila had bought Vyasa and our family a chess set. So I started to teach Vyasa how to play chess. Somehow I got into it when I was in high school to get out of class. I missed an entire day of class and got $20 for placing 5th in our high school. So I was teaching Vyasa the same. And he had beaten Sheila in a very diluted way. And he was going on and on and on about how he's better than Sheila. And I was trying to encourage him to realize that you're not better than Sheila, but you happen to win this. So in the same way, everyone who had their hands up for good habits, please stop being like Vyasa in reference to him beating Sheila in chess. In our community, we use certain terms like an event. Better than that is a movement. Better than that is development. How do you distinguish these? If I can give you a quantitative reference, an event happens on a monthly basis. For all of you who join our Prthvi Sevasanga workshops on a monthly basis, this is an event for you. But better than that is a movement. This happens on a weekly basis. Suppose some of you are in our courses where you're learning about selflessness. This is a movement. But better than that is development. That happens on a daily basis. The way that you brush your teeth, the way you're supposed to floss on a daily basis, that is development. And I share this with you because when you think of our Mother Earth, does she help you on a monthly basis or a weekly basis or it's even wrong to say daily basis. She helps us on a moment basis. Just try right now. Try plugging your nose and closing your mouth. How uncomfortable you'll feel. She helps us on a moment basis. And the reason I'm bringing this up, when one is not grateful for how our mother helps us on a moment's basis, then really we're taking her for granted. How many of you, by a show of hands, and we've only gone into the first week of 2024, how many of you have felt that you've been taken for granted by a show of hands? Somehow, through relationships, through the government, whatever it may be. Lots of people have their hands up. When one is not grateful, but rather takes for granted how someone is helping, how an entity is helping, then that feels bad. It feels bad for them. It feels bad for us. And so, what Sri Krishna shares in the Bhagavad Gita, those who receive help but don't help back, everything they do is moga. It's vain. It's conceited. It is egocentric. So how can we be that personality that doesn't take for granted, but rather is grateful? It is by developing the habit to be grateful and not take for granted. And so now for the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you a systematic process on how the habits we have developed and how we can redevelop our habits. Our habits formed from the outside in, from the surface to the depth, starts with actions. Actions in Sanskrit means karma. Where does this come from? What triggers this is our words. In Sanskrit, shabda. But where does this come from? It is our thoughts or vrittis. Everyone's with me? Your actions come from your words come from your thoughts. Karma, shabda, vritti. But where do your thoughts come from? That's a very good gauge of what kind of personality you are. When you're not around anyone, what do you think of? That's a great indication of the type of personality you are. Our thoughts come from our desires. Again, in Sanskrit, eshana. The more desires you have, the more thoughts you have. The less desires you have, the less thoughts you have. And our desires come from? Please tell me in the chat. Meaningful Morning starts next week. All of you should already know this answer. Good. It is our prints, P-R-I-N-T-S, or vasanas. That is what determines our desires, which determines our thoughts, which determines our words, which determines our actions. So where do habits fit into all of this? Habits are right in the middle. In this sequence of 5 layers, habits are right in the middle. They relate to our thoughts. And so, now what I'm going to share with you, usually when it comes to self-development, we go from the inside out, but for the commencement of 2024, I'm going to go from the outside in. I'm going to share with you how we can change our habits from the outside in, from that which is known, that which is specific, to that which is unknown, and that which is not specific. So starting with the actions. At the action level, the key word is refuse. I'm suggesting to you that which is known to you, that which is specific. As many people are coming up with resolutions for 2024, you follow the model of SMART. And the S in SMART is this resolution has to be specific. So I'm trying to help to navigate that. So at the action level, it is to refuse. Refuse to have any aspect of your lifestyle that harms the environment. If I can give you an example of this, is refuse any sort of plastic. Last night, we had come back from Fort Myers, which is in Florida. We were there for 8 days with my side of the family. And I was stunned by how much plastic is offered in Florida in terms of grocery stores and restaurants and gas stations. I couldn't believe it. It's very different in Ontario. And so eventually I was so harmed by this. My heart hurt. I told Sheila, the next restaurant we go to, we're going to bring our water bottles into this restaurant, irrespective if they don't want us to do that. And that's my point, is I tried my best to refuse for them to create another plastic cup for our kids. That instead, they'll just use their metal water bottles that will wash again. So at an action level, refuse. Then we get into the next R. Tell me in English, what's the next R? You're all part of Prthvi Sevasanga, yes? Okay, respond. I like it. Very sacred. From refuse, we go to reduce. Again, Vivek is trying to encourage us to be more specific about a resolution we can take up for 2024. So reduce relates to our words. And what I mean by this is, when you are trying to entertain yourself, when you're watching something, when you're reading something, make it about the environment. Watch more about the environment, read more about the environment, so that naturally you develop that habit to reduce harm to the environment. A show that our children have started to watch and they've started to like a lot is Wild Kratts. Kratts with an R. So I am encouraging all of you, despite you being 50 and 60 and 70 years old, I am encouraging you to watch Wild Kratts. And by watching such a show, then you feel like reducing your harm on the environment. So at the action level, refuse. At the word level, reduce. Now at the thought level, we go to reuse. And here, zooming into this more, anything that you own presently, use it fully. Nothing that you own presently, that you have, should be disposed of until you've disposed of it where you can't use it anymore. Again, just giving you a lot of personal references. So our family has this very large gray suitcase. There's 4 of us. Vivek occupies 10% of that suitcase. Even though I'm the heaviest person out of our family of 4, I occupy 10% of that suitcase because when I wear clothes on a daily basis, they don't get dirty. They don't get smelly. And even if they do, it's my choice to decide how dirty and smelly they are. And my point is, we don't have to travel with so much. It just costs more in so many ways. So reuse means whatever you have, use it fully. Who's more important, the opinion of your mother or the opinion of people? I continue. From actions to words to thoughts to desires. For desires, it will be recycle. This is a very sensitive topic, but if you can quantify how much money from your income you spend on yourself? Do you dare share in the chat how much money you spend on yourself? I know, and you don't dare that, so I'm not going to even indulge that. But my point is, recycle that. Instead of spending money on yourself, donate that money. Today we had started our efforts for equality, and our team will share more about that very soon, where we are supporting a grand food bank in Mississippi. By a show of hands, how many of you live in Mississippi? Okay, done. That's what I thought. How many of you know someone who lives in Mississippi? Done. I also knew that too. And my point is that wherever we live in affluent areas where everything is going well. So why should we say that we're supporting society if we're actually not? But now we are supporting society where people don't have provisions for where their next meal will come. Instead of spending money on yourself, recycle that to donate that to those who do need food or help with the environment. And the final part to all of this, I'm going to zoom out. My aspiration for this workshop is to change for nature. Changing means habit formation. From actions to words to thoughts to desires to prints. How? Refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. And now the fifth part is rejuvenate. Rejuvenate. This is at the prince level, at the Vasana level. Whatever your personality type is, you can change this. You can make this environmentally sound. By rejuvenating yourself, you will naturally rejuvenate your community and your society. If everyone took this up as their responsibility, that whole critical point which society talks about, that we've crossed that critical point about it's going to be too hot or it's going to be too cold, we can rejuvenate this. We don't have to get so hot. We don't have to get so cold. Rejuvenate. Rejuvenate yourself. Rejuvenate your mother. And my final thought here is, every month, this is our 25th month, we have a aim, which is our action to be implemented. And this month, it is about greening my goals. How to make my goals not about making more money, not about losing weight, but rather about being more green. Everything that I've shared so far, I've tried to make as specific as possible, and soon you'll have a discussion about this. But for you to take this up as your dharma or responsibility. I'm requesting you of this. I'm pleading you of this. And as you go about actually turning this from jnana to vijnana, from theory to practice, you will become an advocate. After 24 months of our Prthvi Sevasanga, we have to go from hundreds to thousands. We've reached hundreds of our already. We have to reach thousands. Please, as you are about to begin your discussion and your resolution, think about how you can be an advocate. Team, please share away.
Hariom Vigji, thank you for your insights. So we will now transition to a discussion. Last month, one of our survey questions asked about personal goals. And some of what was shared included using less water, buying less, composting, and using natural cleaning products. And so today's discussion topic, we'd like to build on this with a similar question, which is to choose one personal and one societal goal And then, as Vivekji shared about being more specific, to come up with a specific plan on how to meet these resolutions. And so for those who have identified these goals, we are asking for that specificity. So please spend some time thinking about how you're going to implement these goals. And then we also have a list of suggested ideas. It's a checklist that we've been working on. And the first few pages have personal goals on them. And then the last page has societal goals listed. So that link will be shared in the chat, and everyone should have access to viewing this document, which is a checklist that we've come up with. So if before going into your breakout groups, you can open that link and then use that as a guide if you need some help with ideas. And then in your discussion groups, you'll also have a facilitator who will help lead that discussion. And we'll do that for about 15 minutes or so. So one of the things that we've thought about is to help us as we're starting off the year, starting off the month, and Vivekji shared the Green My Goal chart. So we're going to share that with you because we often need these visual reminders so that we can, have our goals become our habits. And so we'll be sharing that visual with you to help us track how we're doing. And the chart itself is called Green My Goals. And we have come up with signals of steadiness that are coded as green, yellow, and red. And these color codes tell us how well we've practiced. And so if you can probably zoom in and see what they are. The green is you practice cheerfully. Yellow is practice compromisingly. And then the red is you practiced carelessly, which means you just didn't do it. So we've also given, this chart of, the things that you did, what your efforts were, and then some reflections that'll help you track what's worked well and what hasn't. So we can send this to everyone and share with you in order to sort of continue this conversation, because our short discussion really is just the start. We invite everybody to join our WhatsApp group. So this will help us engage with you, and we can sort of share how everyone's doing, and we can also share this chart with you through the WhatsApp group. So there is an invitation link posted in the chat where you can join that group. So we look forward to these changes for all of us to help each other through this year. Prthvi Sevasanga, our personal goals have been not personal. As a community, the Prthvi Sevasanga this year is striving to increase engagement with all those who have committed to make changes, and then also expand our reach, as Vivekji shared, through various channels. And then to also work more closely with Jinmay Mission Centers to identify their needs and then provide the support where they need it. So we're really looking forward to this year. Thank you everyone for joining. And now we have a very special portion of the workshop where I'm going to ask Zui to share how Prthvi Sevasanga will be supporting the Pioneers for the Planet. We had the opportunity to hear their pitches back in November, and looking forward to what's next. Zui?
Hari Om, everyone. Maybe a quick hand raise. Do you know about Pioneers for the Planet Challenge? Yeah, maybe on the first screen, I'm seeing quite many, oh, beautiful, awesome. So it's a journey we all started on roughly about 10 months ago. And 7 teams across the world applied. They applied to bring their environmental solutions into actual practice and implement them, not just talk about them, actually live them. And they have been really trying to work on their personal change as well as societal change, the discussion that we have been doing. So at least past 10 months. And both those changes, the personal change and societal change, are so interconnected that one doesn't happen without the other. And the growth that I have seen in many of them on a personal level, or the projects or the detailed projects that they offered, the budgets they wrote, the practices they did, were pretty extraordinary. And if you haven't gotten a chance to listen to their final pitches, we'll send a link in chat. You can look at it a little bit later to focus on it. So as we have spotlighted most of the pioneers here right now, we have spotlighted some of the mentors, and we might have lots of interpreters who helped us across this 10 months. Now I'm going to describe each team a little bit, and see what are they going to do next 3 months. Ready? Maybe. Okay. So this particular team, extraordinary proposal. Like when I read at their proposal, it was so detailed and well thought and planned. And they're following two ideologies: that masses should produce food and they should consume it locally. They're setting up farmers markets of one village at a time. And now they're going to learn, through next 3 months, they are going to learn more about promoting those farmers markets. Congratulations, our Vattara Sandhai team. You have been selected for an award through the Pioneers Planet Challenge. Really amazing effort and great proposal. And feel free to put in your encouragement, show your reactions, and express their literally extraordinary proposal. So the next team is the youngest team. And we saw lots of their team dynamics. They learned about budgeting, they learned about meeting notes, and they learned about all different things, and which that could not have been done without their mentor support. Fully the mentor reminding them about their meeting times, that was also necessary very many times. And they came up with very creative ideas to market their product, which is helping families make homemade laundry detergent. If you haven't gotten a sample from them yet, maybe you should reach out and get a sample from them. It's pretty extraordinary. And now they're further going to learn how to create web pages and market their laundry detergent more. Congratulations, superheroes. You have been selected to get award as a pioneers for the planet. And I hope you remember their pitches. They had done some extraordinary work too. So our next team, I wanted to actually mention our mentors before too. Many of you might have heard from Meenakshi ji from Puvidam. And Usha is spotlighted here, Saumya is spotlighted. I think Aparna couldn't join us today. We couldn't have done without these mentors. We know our Guru Shishya Parampara is there with us always. Vivek ji is there always. These mentors, we could completely rely on them. And even our interpreters. We had a lot of Tamil proficient pioneers. So interpreters were coming to all possible meetings, helping me translate our chat messages to everything to make sure that we can so that language is not a barrier. So thank you, mentors and interpreters. So another team, there's this village in Kerala, I believe, called Kumbalangi. And that village really made sure that there wouldn't be sanitary trash coming out of the village. They promoted it through their governments, through their schools, through hospitals, that females would use menstrual cups. It's a pretty extraordinary way to think about it. So this team, amazing filmmakers, they're going to go to Kumbalangi and make the film. And now they're going to learn more about how to actually promote a film and how to make it an educational campaign so we could have this massive change happen. Congratulations, cheers to Choice team. you have been awarded to actually implement your idea and make it real. So next team. Which team? Oh, okay. So interpreters, if you need help, please help us interpret to it through. This particular team, I'm really, really grateful. It made me think a lot about my own privilege. That despite language differences and despite time zones and despite not having access to internet and laptops, they submitted everything within the deadline. They submitted it very well. And what they are doing is they're helping farmers become self-sufficient. Why should any farmer depend on a corporate company to get a seed with a terminator gene that they can't use their own seed? So it starts all from the seed. So now this rainbow flower team is going to learn a lot more about seed bank creation. They're doing already a lot of work anyway. So Rainbow Flower team, congratulations. And you've been selected for the award for Pioneers for the Planet Challenge. And meanwhile, as you all are listening about these pioneers' efforts, like I have no other words, extraordinary efforts. I was lucky enough to read their proposals, pretty solid in terms of kind of like, even they're young-bodied, they're amazingly wise and doing some pretty cool stuff. I want you all to come closer and put this in chat. Think about it a moment, okay? So now these pioneers have set their personal goals of self-development a little bit, but they have set also these societal goals for Prthvi, the way you did today in breakout room or thought about or Vivekji guided. So come closer, that when we are implementing a goal, we go through all these ups and downs. Offer one advice to pioneers, in bracket to your own self, that when you go to ups and downs of attaining a goal, what's one advice you'll offer to yourself or a pioneer? One advice for thriving through. Yes. One step at a time. Don't forget our North Star, I guess, goal. Any other ones? Yes. Any failure is an opportunity to learn. Slow and steady. Ooh. So looks like next month we all will be able to say that we achieved our own personal Prthvi goal and our own societal goal. Yeah. So I think we'll learn further more about it. So should we move on to the next team? Okay. So this team is a group of high schoolers from Atlanta. And they were creating coral reef imitations to avoid runoff water. Very innovative project. And now they are going to learn more about building their own prototype for the coral reef. So Aquanaut's team has been connected with an amazing mentor who used to manage world's largest natural water management channel system, I think, if I got that right. He heard their pitch and reached out to us wanting to help out the pioneers. So greatness of our community and our Guru Shishya Parampara, when we ask for help, we get it. So Aquanaut's team would be really supported in building their prototype and work further. And the next team, all of us work with youth and young adults or children for the most part, right? Sometimes And if you ever have a problem of having youth in your classes, reach out to this team. It started as one and became many. And now they are going to learn lots of aspects of coding and building games. Congratulations, Earth children, and all the best for all your learning. And all these teams are going to demonstrate their next 3 months hard work on April 1 workshop, and share how their personal and societal goals they have tried to achieve. So here's Pioneers, and I'm passing it on to next steps.
Congratulations to all the pioneers. Such an inspiring group, and the teams and the mentors. It's really been wonderful to see you go through this journey, and we're looking forward to your demos in April, and that'll be our workshop at that point. So now we will be concluding. Our next workshop is going to be on February 4th, and that will be a topic on transportation. So please mark your calendars for that. Also, earlier we shared our WhatsApp group for Prthvi Sevasanga, so please join that if we can share that in the chat for anyone that might have missed that. And then Vivekji did mention our newest initiative as a community called Efforts for Equality. This will be starting, registration is actually open, and it is 54 days from Sankranti to Shivaratri, where we will be engaging in contemplation, collection, and contribution. The contemplation will be live with Vivekji every morning at 5:30 a.m. Eastern. And those who registered will have access to recordings in case you're not able to wake up that early. And then our collection, as Vivekji shared, is going to be for our local food banks. So in our areas that we all live, we'll be collecting, each seeker, we're asking to collect at least 20 pounds of food to reach a total of 10,800 pounds of food donated to our local food banks. And then again, for those who may not have access, and Mississippi is the poorest state in America, we are supporting the Mississippi Food Network, and we are aspiring to raise $25,000 for that state and their to help them with their resources. So we're inviting everybody to register, bookmark our webpage to get more information, and looking forward to that progress as well. So thank you everyone for joining. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next month. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hari Om.